Other words for fundamentals are basics and essentials. So when starting a new business, there are several basic and essential things that all entrepreneurs should observe closely. Likewise, existing businesses must have a foundation laid in these principles as well for them to be firmly planted, or else they will very likely fail. Top of the list is to have a plan, a flexible but calculated plan that accounts for key factors. The main aspects you need to consider are things like 1. The marketability of your product, who are your customers, and researching and strategically marketing the product to your customers. You may be driven to promote or sell something, but unless it is directed to the right market base at the right time, it will miss the mark. And to avoid being caught off guard, it is best to set achievable goals. Stay within reasonable boundaries until you are certain the business is not going to be impacted negatively. And once you see your vision is realized and good news is on the horizon, you can breathe a little easier. But in today's technological society, there are a couple of things that it's worth spending the money to acquire help with. The first thing is that you do not know exactly who your target customer is going to be and how you're going to reach them. It will be in your company's best interest to pay someone to do the research and uncover or discover this information for you. It makes sense that before even you start trying to sell a product, you should know who you are marketing it towards, right? If you choose the right agency, it will be money well spent. The second item is to have a web designer create your company a top-notch website. It is the norm today to do business, at least a large part of it, and communicate through the company website. It's a must. It represents you and your product, so go ahead and spend the money for it. Otherwise, again, you are already behind your competition, playing catch up. But while you have the passion to begin a business, you may not have the leadership skills needed to maintain a successful and inspired team to push your business upward to be a success. And this is a key part to reaching your goals and that you have set for your business. But if you are constantly involved in revolving door situation where you or other members of your staff are having to train new employees and retrain other employees as they move from job to job within the organization, this can be detrimental to the health of the business. Another fundamentally essential sound practice for all businesses to acquire is hiring a professional to keep records and maintain the company books. This is vital to the health and for the lifeblood of any business. It means the success or failure of the business. Without someone you trust performing the record keeping for you, you are already 2 steps behind your competitors. And if you are not that great of a communicator, take some classes. And as the boss of a new company, you are going to be expected to lead your employees. And while you are waiting and watching to see what is happening with the company, your employees are looking to you for guidance and instruction. And it becomes pretty stressful sometimes. In order to be successful and remain that way, you will need to learn how to become a better listener, especially when everything inside you is in disagreement. It's also a good idea if you have someone who can give you guidance along the way, someone who's been there before and can share their wisdom. You will also need to schedule time for yourself to ponder and reflect. And this gives you time to make those tough calls that only you can make as the boss. Then marketing to customers abroad. Marketing to an international market requires almost the same principles as selling to customers here. It's just a different marketplace with a different audience, with a different culture. And the main things to bear in mind is that a large amount of research should be performed first so that the product or services are able to manage and be facilitated in its foreign atmosphere. But you have already done your homework in getting your product and or services successfully being recognized on the home front. But now you want to branch out. There are many reasons international marketing may be the option for you. Possibly you've seen a few orders come in from an area internationally that you hadn't originally targeted, and this was a surprise and caused you to start looking toward an international market. Or you have an excess of product on hand and the current market at home is flooded and you need the money. Directing these items toward the international market definitely looks like a win-win for you. But there are, of course, drawbacks in any situation. If you go into a foreign culture without fully knowing the extent of their lifestyle, the methods and habits, you may set off an international incident without even knowing what you've done. And it is best to treat very likely when on their soil and under their jurisdiction. Although you may have something that society finds interesting and wants to incorporate into their household, and it looks very profitable for you, it also requires that you be extremely committed to adapting somewhat to a different way of life, and you are hoping to minimize the impact on their culture while maximizing your profits, of course. But life at its most perfect is the ideal situation. Now let's get into leadership and strategic planning.